community does a lot, I always start, I've had several times where I'm out in public, especially on Fridays. I go to Hy-Vee Drug Town and I go get stuff for the game. And, I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Your season's doing pretty good. People will talk to me about it. I've had several times, I have a Roosevelt sticker on my back of my car under with football on it. And I've had conversations with that several times that I can recount. And, people talk about, like, down in Central, my welding teacher, he is a former alumni. He used to play guard and defensive end, which is exactly what I do. So, I mean, me and him talk about football all the time, and he taught up at Drake and coached there. So, for me, the community does a lot. It gives us inspiration. So, I mean, that's a lot of things they've done. So, I know, they've always been there for us. For me, what I've noticed with the parents is all of them know what they expect a lot from us. Whether, each one knows that this is what they expect from their parents and what, how they expect our team to act, I've had, even if, my parents especially, and I know others, we try to keep each other up to a high standard. That's the biggest thing what I've noticed about our program this year that's really changed is, players have taken accountability for their actions. And so, parents have helped with that too. And, whether that's feeding us, twice a week, really getting us the nutrients that we need to play at a high caliber that we do. It's beneficial for us. I mean, that's the other thing, accountability is our biggest thing, is what we're trying to work on here this year. And that's what I've seen, what's helped us so well this season. Coaches, they've done the most. This is probably the best coaching staff I've had I've played football for 13 years now. And these are probably the best coaches I've ever had. Coach Moore, I remember back in January, he was getting up at 4 o'clock, 4:30, come all the way from Greene County to come and lift with us. It really shows how far you're willing to go to be successful. And I've kind of noticed that and started to build up on it. That's my positions coach, Coach McGackey. He watches so much film. And I mean, it teaches me that, back on accountability, like there's no such thing as an excuse. It's get the job done no matter what you can do about it. And for me, that's kind of what I've noticed big. And they've taught me how to be a man, and that's, I think, one of the biggest things is how to be a man is accountability. Is as long as, what are you going to do to be beneficial for you and your family? It's special for me because I feel I can be myself around here. I moved down, so my freshman year I went down to Florida to go play football. I moved down there, and then I was there my freshman and sophomore year. And what I noticed down there is, and it wasn't really, it felt more like a job. I felt like I wasn't being happy playing down there. It was 100% serious all the time, no matter what. What I've really noticed around here is that, granted, when we're on the field, it's business. We're out here trying to win. But I know I can have a relationship outside of the field, the white lines, with my coaches, every single one of them. And that's kind of what I noticed. And same thing with our community. We know that outside of football, it's a bigger life to that. Because, no matter what, everybody has a stopping point for football. And you're going to have to be an adult at some point. And that's what they're going to help us try to become. And that's what they're trying to mask me to be. We went into this season knowing that we had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I think with that attitude and mindset, we can be extremely successful. There's a little bit of things we got to tweak on, but I think we can really be a state championship caliber team, and that's what we're going to try to work on this week. This year's different from last year because, it started in January, right? I think the biggest thing for a leader is you need to lead by example. And I watched, like I said with Coach Moore, he was coming up from, all the way from Greene County in 4:30. And I've never seen coaches before been able to do that. And, leading these kids, all they needed was a leader and somebody to step up and start taking the plate on. And I think we've really had that this year that's made us be successful.